Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and today we are doing something a little different. We are going to talk about Verbero gloves. These don't really, you can still kind of get them on the website. You can get them on Tron's website. But I thought these were really interesting. I got them for a pretty good deal. And I want to talk about them because they're, again, pretty interesting in my eyes. So we're going to go over them. First, we'll go over the Cypress, which is their 4-roll model. I got it in this glorious white, and it's dirty, and I have never used it, so that's great. I mean, I'd be pretty disappointed if I didn't pay what I paid for this and it came white. But I mean, whatever. These are also 13, so they're way too small for me, as you can see there. But I bought them just to see how they are, and I'll move on for them and probably just sell them anyways. But these are an interesting glove regardless, and I wanted to talk about some of the details on it. One of that is the crazy liner, which is this cool plaid looking, argyle looking thing. I had issues with the old liners that they use where it would tear apart. And in my original Verbero glove review, I actually talked about that and showed that. And these are much better. So they definitely improved on that. So good job in some stage in that. This glove is interesting because it's super comfortable. Whatever they did for this palm material is amazing. Even though this glove is way too small for me, it's so comfy. It's like, I don't know what they did, but it's great. The thumb flex is, again, pretty good. And it's so comfy that I want to wear them, even though they're way too small and don't work. So let's talk about some of the interesting things on here. They have these weird index finger and pinky protection you can see. I've seen this on Joe Thornton gloves, Pro Return gloves. It's really interesting. This is pretty thin piece of foam. I'm not sure if that's really going to end up doing anything. I'm always pro for more protection. I don't have an issue with it like this. Again, I've never worn these on the ice, so I can't really see if they would do anything in that regards. But it is what it is, and I want to point it out. A lot of people tried them on, hated that little piece. I had no issues with it. So the other part I want to talk about is how awfully made these gloves are. So I can't keep my fingers straight. I'm trying to. It's actually really tiring on my arm because this glove keeps closing itself, you can see. So I actually talked to someone who's in engineering, and they said one of two things happened. Either they did all these measurements for the cuts while ignoring the material on it, so all the differences makes them too close together and thus makes it close itself. You can even see the backhand is like too tight together. Or they just have really poor tolerances and can't cut properly. Because these don't open up, like they're just too curved because they're too close together. And that's basically what's happening here is you can see that like the foams line up and they're just too close. So you can't really straighten them out all the way. The foams feel very protective. They're pretty squishy, but they feel like there's enough heft there. I think there's two different, so there's plastic. I think there's a layer right there and another layer. They feel pretty substantial for that. Comfy glove, but definitely issues with how it's made. But I mean, it's interesting, and I was kind of a fan of it. Next, this is the worst glove I've ever worn. Okay, that's not true. The true XC9s are. This is the weirdest glove I've definitely ever worn, and definitely the most over-engineered gloves I've ever worn. And so I'm going to kind of talk about that. So I'll get the left-hand one just to show it off. One, it's very removable. It has all these removable parts to it, which is really odd. We'll start with the inner little protection piece. So this piece velcros on. You can put it right in there. And it's supposed to be for extra protection behind the cuff. Not a bad idea. I'm kind of a fan of this. The interesting thing about this is that when I reviewed the original Verbero gloves, I actually said there wasn't enough padding behind the cuff. This should theoretically fix that. Interesting design. Cool thing there. I thought this was going to be, they had a pair of these that were kind of movable, like the Warrior QRLs and QREs were with the flex cuff. I thought this was going to be a flex cuff. Sort of disappointed it wasn't, but I mean, it's removable, so it might be harder to do. This was that Farrell type material. Pretty interesting. You got that material design down there again. Again, pretty interesting. Next we have, we'll put it on again, this shield. So it's called whatever, I don't know what it's called. But anyways, there's a shield. So you can see it right here. And it velcros off. And now you have a much more flexible glove. But, so you have this shield. Again, has that Farrell design. like this, kind of built under there. This one, it has plastic on it though, so it's not just, this one just kind of foams. This one has plastic, so it's even more protective. Really ruins kind of the dexterity of the glove, but adds shot blocker protection. Pretty interesting. Next, you have this interesting thumb piece to wipe your visor off. It's a great idea. I'm a huge fan of it. I don't have a visor, but I'm pretty sure it would come in handy. Interesting thing there. Next, you have removable cuffs, and they came with different colors. So you would basically Velcro this in, and there's your removable cuff. But the thing about this is, see how it's not curved? So it doesn't really fit that well. If you put this in, and you kind of got to stretch it down and like squeeze it down. I can't do it with one hand, but it doesn't really work all that well, to be totally honest. And I really question how well this would stay on. There you can see it. It's weird. It also like kind of screws with dexterity on it, and it's an interesting design. It's just too much. I think it's over the top. Verbero was trying to do a lot of interesting things, trying to be different. This was one of them. I think this one was kind of a miss, in my opinion. Next, wear patch. So you have an extra little wear patch. My problem with this is you have this Nash material. Now you have Velcro on your palm. So you have Velcro instead of Nash. So why, like, that? I don't understand. Again, puck field, not probably the best with the Velcro there. And just get butt ends or sniper skin, or sorry, butt ends or lizard skin or tacky mac. So next interesting thing is their weird gussets for their fingers, which in my opinion is an awful design and should have never happened. Reason being, you hold a stick and that is now so far away from your fingers, you can get chopped right down there, and it doesn't go all the way down. It should follow your fingers closer. One of my problems with the True gloves is kind of how big this gusset was. That's definitely a problem here. This is super comfortable, but it doesn't work for protection, and it's really weird. I don't know why they do that. The weird thing about that too is for protection, you have like protection for in between the fingers. So there can't be gaps. Look at that. There can't be gaps. There's protection there. And yet you have this. So it's very odd to me that they went to this route, which really makes the fingers less like mobile. And yet they didn't, like, this part is just totally exposed. So that's a quick look at some of the interesting gloves I found. Basically, these are like one of the worst feeling gloves. These are super comfortable, but they're made poorly, and so they don't really work that well. Yeah, I'm going to be selling these, so I mean, I'll link my sideline swap, I guess, below. But anyways, that's about it for this video. I thought it was kind of interesting. I want to talk about some interesting gear. Here we are. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like this video, subscribe to me on YouTube, hit the bell icon to get notified when I make new content. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Helps me get more gear so I can do reviews and make content like this and actually talk real about gear and not just shill. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.